Hi there guys, this is your friendly neighborhood. Wait, that's not me. This is Nikhil from GreedyTech, and this is just a quick difference between Moto G4 and G4 Plus. So guys, just for the convenience, I'm just gonna call it Moto G and G Plus. I hope you could understand. It's a pretty odd name. So firstly, coming to the similarities, both the devices, the G4 and the G4 Plus, has the same display. There is a full HD display, the same display panel, and both the devices have the same processor, the Snapdragon 615, which is an octa-core processor clocked at a maximum frequency of 1.7 GHz. Both devices come with an SD card support, and both support SD cards up to 128 GB. And coming to the differences between both the G4 and the G4 Plus, on the G4 you just get a 13 megapixel camera on the rear, and whereas on the G4 Plus you get a 16 megapixel camera with face detection autofocus and a laser for autofocus. So with the face detection autofocus and the laser for autofocus, you will see great focusing speeds on the G4 Plus. We are not sure if you are going to get a camera sensor with face detection autofocus or not on the G4, but on the G4 Plus you're going to get 16 megapixel camera with face detection autofocus and laser autofocus, and you get an f2.0 aperture. And coming to the storage and RAM, you get G4 in two variants, 8GB with 1GB of RAM, which is completely ridiculous. Please don't buy that no matter what. And the other one is the 64GB variant with 2GB of RAM. And coming to the G4 Plus, we have three variants, 16GB with 2GB of RAM, 32GB with 3GB of RAM, and 64GB with 4GB of RAM. And coming to the fingerprint sensor, we get the fingerprint sensor only on the G4 Plus. And coming to the charger and the battery, both devices come with the same battery, but on the G4 Plus you get a turbocharger inbuilt. So the G4 is turbocharge compatible, but you don't get the turbocharger, whereas on the G4 Plus you get the turbocharger, and it'll be definitely a game changer because the turbocharger is simply faster than the normal charger. So anyway guys, these are the differences between the G4 and the G4 Plus, and that's pretty much it. The rest of the things are pretty much same. And if you want to know my opinion about either of these devices, for the price they are being sold, it's definitely a good idea to stay as far away from them as possible. So in India you have better alternatives like Redmi Note 3, Lao 1s, and Mizu M3 Note is going to be launched very soon. So all these three devices will be great alternatives for the G4, and we might be able to see some better devices pretty soon. The only disappointment when we see at the G4 or the G4 Plus is the pricing. Irrespective of the price, if you just look at the phones, both the phones, the G4 and the G4 Plus, are pretty good phones, just except the 8GB and 1GB RAM variant. So both are pretty good phones, and there's nothing really to complain about them unless we look at the price. So anyway guys, that's it for this video. These are the differences between the Moto G4 and the G4 Plus. I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like this. And as always, keep smiling.